Okay, so today we're going to do a deep dive into something pretty interesting, the science of kissing.
Oh, yeah.
We're going way beyond just lovey-dovey stuff.
Right.
We're going to be using this Vsauce video, Why Do We Kiss, by Michael
Oh,
Stevens,
okay, cool.
and really kind of get down to the nitty-gritty.
Awesome.
To get ready to, unlock a whole new appreciation for this, super complex human behavior.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, kissing is something that, we all do, or most of us do.
Yeah.
But we don't really think about what's
Well,
going on.
Why,
Yeah.
why do we do this?
Right.
So, for example, did you know that kissing is actually good for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the act of kissing, burns calories.
Oh, wow.
Releases, all these feel-good chemicals.
Oh.
Epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin.
Wow, it's like a workout.
Yeah, it's like a mini workout for your heart and your happiness.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So it's got to be more than just a coincidence that something so pleasurable also happens to be good for us.
Right. It can't just be a happy accident. Evolution must have had something to do with it.
Right.
Those who benefit from kissing are more likely to survive and pass on their genes.
Okay, so are you talking about survival of the fittest type stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Think about it.
Okay.
Kissing could have evolved from something called kiss feeding.
Oh, kiss feeding. Now, what is that?
So, you know how birds feed their young?
Oh, yeah.
Or, primates share pre-chewed food mouth to mouth?
Okay.
It might seem a little weird to us now.
Yeah.
But back then, that was a way to ensure survival.
Right.
Passing on vital nutrients, even aiding in digestion.
Okay, that makes sense in terms of survival. But how did we go from, pre-chewed food to, romantic kissing?
Well, think about the intimacy built through kiss feeding.
Okay.
That exchange from one mouth to another, it fosters deep trust.
Right.
And then apply that to choosing a mate.
Okay.
Saliva suddenly becomes this rich source of information.
Oh, wow.
You're basically taste testing for a good match. Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it's like a subconscious biological compatibility test.
Wow.
Saliva carries clues about a potential partner's health immune system, even hormonal levels.
Hmm.
So those who were drawn to a certain taste might have been unconsciously making healthier mating choices.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So kissing could have actually played a role in shaping our evolution.
This is definitely a possibility.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But there's another piece to this puzzle, right?
I don't-
Our fascination with faces.
Oh, yeah.
Literally from the moment we're born, we're drawn to them.
Right. It's one of the first things a baby recognizes. And it goes beyond just basic recognition.
Right.
Think about our ability to spot faces even in random patterns.
Oh, yeah, like seeing a face in the clouds.
Exactly. That's called pareidolia.
Pareidolia.
Yeah. And it just highlights how deeply ingrained this instinct is for us.
Right.
We're hardwired to see faces everywhere.
So why is that so important, evolutionarily speaking? Yeah. Well, think about the difference between human eyes and a predator's eyes.
Okay.
Our eyes, with their bright white sclera.
Yeah.
It makes our gaze direction incredibly obvious.
We're broadcasting it to the world.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that clear communication is crucial for cooperation.
Right.
We've evolved to be social creatures, you
Right.
know. We rely on each other for survival.
Right.
Being able to quickly read each other's gaze was and still is a huge advantage.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about those times when we're not face to face?
That's a good question.
How do our primal instincts for connection, how do those play out then?
Well, there's some interesting research on that.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Harry Harlow's experiments with monkeys?
I think I've heard of them.
They're a little controversial,
Right.
but they offer some insights, you know?
Okay.
He gave these baby monkeys 2 surrogate mothers. One was a wire mother with food, and the other was a soft cloth mother, but no food.
Okay, so one's for comfort, one's for nourishment.
Exactly. And guess which one they preferred?
I'm going to guess the comfy one.
Yeah, you got it. They craved that comfort and warmth even over nourishment.
Wow.
And get this, he even introduced this rejecting mother that was designed to push them away.
Oh my gosh.
And they clung even tighter.
Really?
Yeah, it seems counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But it just shows how deep our need for connection runs.
Wow. So are you saying that our need for connection is even stronger than our need for basic survival?
Well, in a way, yeah, it seems like it.
Wow.
And it's not just monkeys.
Oh.
Similar studies with ducklings show that even attempts to discourage attachment can actually backfire and intensify it.
Wow.
It seems like this drive for connection is pretty universal.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we've got this primal need for connection,
Right.
but like the world can be a pretty uncertain place.
Yeah, for sure.
How did our ancestors reconcile those two seemingly opposing forces?
Well, that's where we get into this fascinating concept called the polarity principle.
The polarity principle?
Yeah, it's the idea that stress and uncertainty can actually amplify our attachments.
Okay.
So think about this experiment with puppies.
Okay.
By A.E. Fisher, he divided them into 3 groups: one treated kindly, one punished, and one given random kindness and punishment.
So like 3 totally different experiences of the world.
Exactly. And the results were pretty surprising.
Okay.
The puppies subjected to that unpredictable treatment, the ones living in that world of uncertainty, ended up being the most attached to their caretakers.
Oh, wow. So the ones that didn't know what to expect were like the most attached.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you don't know what's coming next, you cling even tighter to the sources of comfort that you do have.
Right. And imagine our ancestors navigating all the uncertainties of survival.
Right.
Finding food, avoiding predators, choosing a mate.
Yeah.
That constant uncertainty probably amplified their need for connection
Okay.
and might have contributed to the evolution of specific behaviors designed to reduce that uncertainty.
Like kissing.
Exactly.
Okay, hold on. How does kissing fit into all of this?
Well, think about it. We know it releases feel-good chemicals, strengthens bonds, and provides valuable information about a potential mate.
Right.
All of that becomes even more crucial in a world filled with unknowns.
So kissing with its rush of pleasure and like the exchange of biological data could have evolved as a way to make better mating decisions amidst all that uncertainty.
Exactly. It's like our ancestors were hedging their bets.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it really shows how deeply connected our biology, our emotions, and our behavior truly are.
Wow. I'm definitely seeing kissing in a whole new light now.
Me too.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with more fascinating insights into the science of kissing.
Sounds good. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about how kissing might have evolved as a way to navigate uncertainty, especially when choosing a mate.
Right. And like you kind of left us with this really interesting question. Like, could those same principles of attachment and uncertainty be at play in like other parts of our lives, beyond romance?
Yeah, it's a fascinating area of research, and there's definitely evidence suggesting that those drives influence a wide range of human interactions.
Okay, so like how so?
Well, think about it. Humans are social creatures.
Right.
We crave connection, we build bonds, we rely on each other. It's like in our DNA.
Right.
And those social bonds, whether it's family, friends, or even colleagues,
Right.
they provide a sense of security in a world that can feel pretty chaotic.
So in a way, those relationships are like anchors of certainty in this sea of unknowns.
Exactly. Those feelings of trust and security are crucial for our well-being.
Yeah.
They reduce stress and they foster cooperation.
Right, but relationships have their ups and downs, right?
Sure.
Arguments, disagreements, moments of like those are inevitable.
Yeah, for sure. That's just part of life.
But you're saying those moments of uncertainty, like if they're handled well, they can actually benefit the relationship.
Exactly. It might sound counterintuitive, but remember that polarity principle we discussed.
Right, the idea that like a little stress can actually strengthen bonds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But how does that work in practice?
Well, think about it. When we successfully navigate a conflict,
Right.
we communicate effectively. We find a resolution.
Yeah.
It reinforces the strength of the bond. It proves that the relationship can weather the storm and emerge even stronger.
So a little friction can create a stronger connection.
In a way, yeah.
That's interesting. But how does this relate back to kissing as a tool for reducing uncertainty? It's not like we're going around kissing our friends and colleagues to resolve disagreements.
Uh-huh. No, of course not.
Right.
But we use other means to achieve the same end, conversations.
Yeah.
Shared experiences, observing each other's behavior, building a history.
Right.
All these things create familiarity and predictability.
So even those seemingly mundane interactions, they contribute to stronger bonds by reducing uncertainty.
Exactly. The more we understand each other, the less uncertainty there is in the relationship.
Right. It's like building this foundation of shared knowledge that we can rely on. Exactly. And that foundation is essential for navigating any relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, familial, or professional.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. But here's a question that's been bugging me. If a little uncertainty can actually be good for relationships,
Yeah.
why are we so obsessed with eliminating it?
That's a great question, and it really gets to the heart of what makes us human. you know?
Mm-hmm.
We crave certainty because it provides a sense of security and control
Right.
in a world that can feel overwhelming. But here's the paradox.
Okay.
Too much certainty leads to stagnation and boredom.
So you're saying we need a little bit of the unknown to keep things interesting.
Exactly. It's that element of uncertainty that sparks curiosity, that drives exploration and learning, and ultimately pushes us to grow.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot, that balance between the comfort of certainty and the excitement of the unknown.
Exactly. We need enough certainty to feel secure and grounded,
Right.
but enough uncertainty to keep us engaged and open to new experiences.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this all connects. We're wired for connection. We want to minimize uncertainty, but we also thrive on a little bit of unpredictability.
The delicate balance.
It really is. And that dance between certainty and uncertainty,
Right.
it plays out in every aspect of our lives, right?
Absolutely.
From personal relationships to professional endeavors to even our understanding of the world around us.
For sure.
So how do we navigate this dance effectively? How do we embrace uncertainty without letting it overwhelm us?
That's the million-dollar question, but I think a key is cultivating a mindset of curiosity and openness.
Okay.
Embracing the unknown as an opportunity for learning and growth rather than something to be feared.
I love that, like shifting our perspective from seeing uncertainty as a threat to seeing it as a potential adventure.
Exactly. When we approach uncertainty with curiosity, it becomes less daunting and more exciting.
Right?
A source of inspiration, a driving force in our personal and collective evolution.
Okay, all this talk about uncertainty and connection has me thinking back to kissing. We've discussed its evolutionary roots, its role in mate selection, and how the principles of attachment and uncertainty apply to relationships more broadly.
Right.
But what about the actual experience of kissing itself? What happens in our brains and bodies when our lips meet?
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
Right.
Kissing is a complex physiological and neurological event.
Okay.
It triggers this cascade of reactions throughout the body.
So what's going on under the hood when we pucker up?
Well, for starters, our lips are jam-packed with nerve endings,
Okay.
making them incredibly sensitive to touch.
Right.
And when we kiss, those nerve endings send signals to our brains, lighting up this whole network of areas associated with pleasure, reward, and emotional bonding.
So it's like a sensory party in our brains.
Exactly. And it's not just touch,
Right.
Taste, smell, even sound play a role,
Wow.
creating this multi-sensory experience that heightens arousal and intensifies our emotional response.
And then there are the hormones, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dopamine and oxytocin flooding our systems.
Yeah, making us feel euphoric and connected.
So dopamine, that's the brain's reward chemical, right?
Exactly. So no wonder kissing feels good.
Yeah.
And then you've got oxytocin, the love hormone.
Right.
It plays a crucial role in bonding and attachment.
So basically kissing is this cocktail of feel-good chemicals designed to keep us coming back for more.
Precisely. It's this brilliant evolutionary strategy to reinforce behaviors that promote bonding and intimacy.
This is all making so much sense now. But one thing I'm still curious about, why is kissing so different from other forms of physical touch?
Yeah.
A hug can be comforting, a handshake friendly, but a kiss is something else entirely.
That's a great question, and one that researchers are still trying to fully unravel, but here are a few thoughts.
Okay.
First, consider the cultural significance of kissing.
Okay.
It's a gesture loaded with meaning and symbolism, and it varies greatly across cultures.
Right.
In some cultures, like in parts of Europe, kissing on both cheeks is a common greeting,
Right.
even between casual acquaintances. Contrast that with Japan, where public displays of affection, including kissing, are generally frowned upon.
So a simple kiss could be interpreted very differently depending on where you are in the world.
Exactly. It underscores the importance of understanding and respecting social norms when it comes to kissing,
Yeah. We don't want to cause any awkward misunderstandings.
Right.
But beyond greetings, how else does culture shape our experience of kissing?
Well, culture influences everything from what we consider a good kiss to the role of kissing in romantic relationships. For example, in some cultures, a kiss might be seen as a prelude to intimacy, while in others, it's simply a casual expression of affection.
So even something as seemingly universal as kissing is filtered through this cultural lens.
Absolutely. Cultural beliefs, values, and social norms, they play a huge role in shaping how we kiss and how we interpret the act of kissing.
It's amazing to think about all the factors that come together to create something as seemingly simple as a kiss.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We've explored the evolution of kissing, the science behind it, the cultural influences, and even the mystery of pheromones. But I have a feeling there's still more to uncover.
Oh, absolutely. The world of kissing is full of mysteries yet to be explored. We haven't even touched on the intricacies of sexual attraction or the fascinating cultural variations in kissing customs around the world.
So much more to discover. Well, listeners, we'll delve deeper into these aspects in the final part of our deep dive into the science of kissing. Stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the science of kissing.
Yeah, it's amazing how much there is to talk about with
Mm.
this, seemingly simple act.
Right, like last time you mentioned these mysterious pheromones and the cultural variations in kissing customs. Like, let's start with the pheromones.
Okay.
You know, I know they're involved in attraction, but I'm still a little fuzzy on like all
Yeah.
the details.
Sure. So pheromones are like these chemical messengers
Okay.
that animals, including us, use to communicate. They're often called scentless because we don't consciously register them as smells, but they can trigger these subconscious responses,
Okay.
particularly related to mating.
So it's like this hidden language of attraction that we're not even aware of.
Exactly. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah, that is mind-blowing.
So while the role of pheromones in human attraction is still being studied, some evidence suggests that we might be picking up on these cues when we kiss.
Okay, so kissing isn't just about lips meeting. It's also about exchanging these invisible signals that could be influencing our attraction to each other.
Yeah, it's a fascinating possibility.
That's wild.
It adds another layer of complexity to an already intricate behavior.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about culture. You mentioned that kissing customs vary around the world. Can you give us some specific examples?
Yeah, absolutely. So in some cultures, like in parts of Europe, kissing on both cheeks is a common greeting,
Right.
even between casual acquaintances. But then you contrast that with Japan, where public displays of affection, including kissing, are generally frowned upon.
So like a simple kiss could be interpreted very differently depending on like where you are in the world.
Exactly, and it really underscores the importance of understanding and respecting social norms when it comes to kissing.
Right, like what's considered friendly in one culture
Right.
could be seen as like totally inappropriate in another.
Right, exactly.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to cause any awkward misunderstandings.
No, definitely not.
But beyond greetings, how else does culture like shape our experience of kissing?
Well, culture influences everything from what we consider a good kiss to the role of kissing in romantic relationships.
Hmm.
For example, in some cultures, a kiss might be seen as a prelude to intimacy, while in others it's simply a casual expression of affection.
So even something as seemingly universal as kissing is filtered through this cultural lens.
Absolutely. Cultural beliefs, values, and social norms play a huge role in shaping how we kiss and how we interpret the act of kissing.
Wow. It's amazing to think about all the factors that come together to create something as seemingly simple as a kiss. You know,
It's pretty remarkable.
we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
The evolution of kissing, the science behind it, the cultural influences, and even that whole mystery of pheromones.
Right.
I'm walking away with like a renewed sense of appreciation
Mm-hmm.
for this remarkable behavior.
Me too. It's easy to take kissing for granted, but as we've seen, it's anything but ordinary.
Right.
It's this complex tapestry woven from biology, psychology, culture, and personal experience.
So to our listeners out there, the next time you kiss someone, I encourage you to take a moment and really think about it, you know. Consider that evolutionary journey that brought us here. The symphony of hormones and nerve endings firing in your brain, and the cultural context that shapes your experience.
It might just make that kiss even more meaningful. And who knows, you might even discover something new about yourself and the power of human connection in the process.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the science of kissing. Until next time, stay curious.